Yeah. So, hi back. It's our second attempt. Today is 29 November, Sunday, 3:16, and this is the first episode of my podcast. This is very first time me doing a podcast. Today we have Shreya Gupta with us. There is a reason. I'll talk about it later why we are talking with Shreya today. But let me first start by giving a brief introduction of myself. I am Priyanka Saggu. Currently, I'm working as a site reliability engineer at Red Hat. I have been into multiple other roles, and the one major thing that I'm really proud of is I was an Outreachy intern. Uh, I was an intern under NOM Foundation in the November 2019 to March 2020 cohort, and Shreya is also again an outreach intern now after an year after to me, right?
Yeah,
Which is the biggest reason why we are talking to her today. Uh, this is a recent accomplishment that she had added into her kitty. She is now an outreach intern under Fedora organization. So yeah, we'll talk about her outreachy journey. We'll talk about other things, and let's see what we can learn from her and what we can grab from her learnings and her life. So, first of all, congratulations, a huge congratulations to you, Shreya. Thank you for coming here. Let's start by talking a little bit about your life, your journey, yourself. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much, Priyanka, for having me. It's an honor, and I've known you for more than a year now, and it feels really on. I'm really honored to be here and talking to you like this. And yeah, finally, after I've been bugging you for Outreachy for a year now, I've been giving it an attempt, but finally, I've not cracked it, but I've got
Hooray.
selected.
Yeah.
Yeah, got selected, and I'm really proud of my achievements. And thank you always for being there and motivating me. It was always you who kept me motivated and asked me always to give it another attempt. And yeah, so thank you so
I'm really happy that you said one thing, that is you are very proud of your accomplishment. That's what I wanted to hear from you, because that's
much.
how it should be. You really worked hard,
Yeah,
and I know you have worked hard, and this is how it should feel. So
yeah,
yeah, it's a very big thing, right?
yeah,
So moving forward, right?
yeah,
Outreach is open source, and
mm,
we mostly talk about opportunities that are open source, right? And personally, to me, when I talk about open source, it's always about community, right?
mhm.
What do you feel is the definition of open source for you, and how do you feel, if any, in any way, community has played a role in your journey?
Open source community has always helped me. Everything I know is because of the community that was around me in my college days when in the college, and I was working with the communities in my around in my in around and in my college. It everything that even the open source YouTube playlist or anything that you learn from technically and non-technically. So it's been always about the community around me. But I am from a non-CS background, so I didn't had any courses or formal professional lecture or somebody teaching me the courses. But all the things had to learn was through open source, and as a student, I didn't had that much of money, so I could pay amount of money to buy or purchase courses. So it was always up through the community and people around me. So yeah, and that the only source of motivation that I had when I heard about open source, what is open source and what is open source community. When I was in the first year of my college, I got to know about a program known as Rails of Girls Summer of Code, and from that I came to know about what open source actually is and how it's helping. So my the biggest setback that I felt in my entire college journey was that I was always so uh, doubtful about what I could be doing because I don't have a CS degree and I didn't know anybody around me who had achieved. who wanted to change streams, and now I know that it's a very common thing that people do. But that time I didn't know that people actually change their stream, and I was always like that I'll have to struggle way more than any CS grad or electronics grad or somebody in that IT field. But then I got to know about this open source, and then I got to realize that it is the only way that I could show my achievements and my skills, and nobody's going to ask me
Yeah.
from what degree you belong to, and what college or what stream do you belong to. So that was my biggest motivation to explore more of this open source. But when I started, I gave a try to Rails Girl Summer of Code, but that time I was just in my first sem, and I didn't know a lot. So I kept trying, and then I got to know more about Google Summer of Code, and then I just saw somebody's post on LinkedIn about Outreachy. So I explored what is Outreachy, and then from that helped me, and that kept me motivated. That thing that open source doesn't ask about your degree or your stream or anything. It just requires your skills. So that's what kept me motivated towards open source, and eventually it helped me a lot. Everything everything that I have learned, or everything I know right now, technically and non-technically, it's because of this open source community, and I owe it to them. So
Yeah.
outreachy can be a way to give back what I have received from this community. So
Yeah. I'm really proud. I'll say you have done it even beautifully. People I know are who actually are from the technical background, the so-called IT, CSE, you have done better than them, most of them. Yeah, like you have done it very beautifully, and you should be proud of it. Uh, okay, coming very specifically to Outreachy, right? What do you feel was the biggest challenge there? Like, how did you, and if you feel there was some challenge that you felt that was actually stopping you, or you felt like that might stop you, and do you feel there was something like that? And if there was, how did you go about overcoming it?
yeah, so I heard about Outreachy about year and a half ago. But then I read about then as I told that I saw somebody's LinkedIn post that they got selected for Outreachy intern, and it really, I was like, what is this program? They wrote some small sentences about just two or three sentences that it's an open source program and that. So I got attracted toward it, and I was Google surfing it, where what is outreach mega. Then I saw the number of participants that participated and number of interns that finally got selected. The ratio was very low. There were around 50 to 55 interns getting selected, and there were 10,000 application. So yeah, it was quite intimidating. I was at the first. It was like there's a the and the person who actually got selected, I saw her LinkedIn profile, and it was very amazing. She had a very amazing profile. She had really done a lot of things, and she was well versed with the technology she was using. And so I thought it may, and I didn't know a lot that time. So I was like, maybe I cannot do it right now because it requires a lot of knowledge and a lot of, though the outreach space says it's for beginners, but I didn't trust them at that
Yeah,
moment because
yeah,
people of people who had good experiences and knowledge for getting selected. So I was not very sure. So for that was the first thing that stopped me. And I back in college, I had a major imposter syndrome. I was always that I had always that feeling that I'm not suitable or I'm not good enough for anything that I am jumping into. But later, with time and with the help of my friend, I got to overcome that. And then I told my friend about it. I told him that there is a program known as Outreachy, and it's a very acknowledged and acclaimed program, and I want to participate, but I do not possess that much of skills. And then he motivated me, and he pushed me that at least try and do that. So I finally gave it a chance this summer. But initial application was not a big hurdle for me because I already have faced some biases and discrimination on the basis of my degree and stuff. So I could explain that to them. I had faced them and I could explain it properly. So I just wrote it and got through the initial application. But the major thing, as I already told, that I got intimidated very easily with somebody or someone who's doing a little better than me, or or maybe showing that they are doing it better than me. I got get intimidated really easily. So when I saw the project list, I jot down three to four projects that I found were interesting to me, but I couldn't make up my mind that where should I contribute or where should I stick and contribute. So I was just juggling among two or three projects that I had in mind. I was Someday I was on working on this project, another day I was working on some other project, and that was very that I thought was very wrong because I was not being consistent. And then later I realized, and when the result came and when I had to draft my final application, then I got to realize that there was not a single contribution that was quality contribution, as they call it, that I could really mention it and be proud that I did it, or I did some quality contributions to the project. So I kept on. Then I realized it, and then I thought about it after that I didn't got selected, and so then later on I realized that it's not about the skills you have. It's just being consistent, making progress consistently. So yeah, that's what kept me motivated, and that's what I tried doing this time. I was stuck with one project. I was contributing to that project. I didn't go here or there, or didn't look here or there, and that helped me this time.
I feel like I'll say you did the right thing this time. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. And now I feel it becomes our duty, like who
Hmm.
already have been through the process, to tell the people who are aspiring for it, tell them that no, it's not about the skills. It's this platform, this opportunity will help you building them, but
Hmm.
it's not just about the skills.
Hmm.
It's about a mindset that you are coming, and you are coming there to learn, but you know that it requires time and it requires hard work, and
Yeah.
you are okay and you are motivated to give that time, so
Yeah.
it will happen for you, it will happen.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that, and it's good, and I'm really thankful to you that you are sharing this over here, that
Hmm.
how it was for you, how you felt when you saw people who were finally being selected as intern, but
Hmm.
there were people who had actually like really nice technical background. So it always felt like, okay, these opportunities are for people who have technical background.
Yeah.
And so maybe it drills down to just the skills, the technical skills only. So
Yeah.
it's good to talk about the actual thing, right? Like, no, you can still be an outreach intern. It's not just the technical skills that you require. The first and the foremost thing that you require is this is passion to actually come and learn. Second thing is you go and you talk. Communication and the collaboration is the only thing that I always talk about, is the biggest mantra that I follow. Like, you go and you talk and you tell them that you want to do this, and then you go and do your work.
Yes.
That will definitely help you get to a level up, at least maybe I say 2 3 level up.
Yeah.
It might eventually end up into you being the intern, and it's not just about outreach, it's about everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it's like really people have to understand that these open source opportunities are not just about technical skills, it's more than that. Yeah,
Yeah. Sure.
yeah,
They are definitely more than that. You just cannot, even if you have the technical skills, sometimes you'll find yourself not suitable for a project because
yeah.
you do not have that zeal or passion to learn more things, or contribute or work in a collaborative environment. Yeah, these things
Yeah,
matter
yeah,
a lot.
like you said, it could be the other way around, that people,
Yeah.
someone who is very nice, who is very technically sound, they might also end up not having the internship.
Yeah.
So people have to understand it's not just about the technical skills. There
Yeah.
are so many other things which are more important than having the technical
Exactly.
skills in the first place.
Yeah.
And even I'll also add it here again. In my case also, I wasn't that technically sound. I went into the project, I learned through my
Yeah.
contribution period, and that ended up me being the intern.
Hmm.
So yeah, we are the example, and I can like very strongly say, go ahead if you feel this is the only reason that is stopping you, like you saying you people who are technically sound and they are being the get like ultimately being the interns. No, go ahead, give it a chance. The chance is the only thing that you have to go and uh, grab and do your work upon. So go
Hmm.
ahead. uh, Next thing, what are the best resources that help you along this way, right?
Uh, Technically, if I'll say it's just YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is the biggest resource you could ever find. Everything is free, everything is most of the things are accurate there. There are a lot of people there to help you. There are blogging sites like dev.to, Medium, or Hashnode, or anyway people have their personal blogs as well. Follow them on over Twitter, or they just keep wherever they keep publicizing, LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, wherever. YouTube has been the biggest way where I have learned. There are thousands of playlists, thousands. I have learned Django from a YouTube playlist. I have learned a Python from a YouTube playlist, and even GitHub Education Pack. You get a lot of free resources there as well. So yeah, make good use of that. Technically, and non-technically, it's just communicating, connecting to people. One thing that I'll mention is I had this habit of whenever I got to know about a new program or some new internship program or job placements or anything, scholarship, I always used to first when I got to hear about Rail Summer of Code, I just I saw people, I searched people over LinkedIn who already got selected for that program, and I tried contacting them or communicating and talking to them that I am also interested, and could you please share your experiences and stuff. So people are really helpful, and they are very friendly if you ask them in a right way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that really helped me. That really helped me. I always, even for Outreachy, when I got to hear it, see the LinkedIn post for the first time, I immediately drafted a proper polite message for that person and asked, "What is this program, and how do you contribute, and how do you get selected?" So that person to give me the link, and she has written some blogs about that, so she gave me the links to that, so I read about it and got to learn more about it. And that's the only way I got connected to you as well. I saw
Yeah.
your LinkedIn post as well, and I got to like I immediately messaged you that even I am interested, and could you please help me and stuff. Yeah.
And I'm
So that
happy we connected.
yeah, I am really happy to. So yeah, that is the way I developed the soft skills to communicate, because in an open source environment you do not get to talk face to face, and
Yeah.
I'm a very introvert person in that way. I'm not very open to that. I'll not just be in the first
Mhm.
meeting. I'll be very open
Mhm.
and I can
Yeah.
talk very confidently. So it takes me time, and the text platform or the social medias give me that way, so I could channel my whatever I want to. I can just draft a long message or two short messages and communicate it to point. And
Yeah.
people really like it if you ask them politely, and if
Yeah.
you really ask them concisely what you want and what are you seeking for. So they just, because it takes less time to
Yeah.
reply back as well, and they can easily see that you're interested and you're not just messing around and
Yeah.
wasting their
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would like to add here, like it's really it's the first thing is it's hard. It's a hard thing to go and ask someone for help. But
Yeah.
this is required. It's
Yeah.
hard when you are just thinking about it in your head. But
Mhm.
if you're when you have just taken the very first step, like you have gone and asked someone, okay, we are looking for something and this is
Mhm.
what we are looking for. These are
Mhm.
the reasons why we are looking for, and we need help, your help.
Yeah.
It just required this thing, and but it looks hard when you are not when you are just thinking about it. So
Yeah.
go ahead and do it. That's the very first step, and that will open everything for you. That will open so many opportunities for you that you can't even think of right now when you are just thinking it in your head that, oh, I'll text this person someday, or I'll ask someone something
Mhm.
someday. It will just stay there only and it won't move anyway further if you are not
Mhm.
doing it only. So
Yeah.
doing it is the very first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing I'll say, don't go and just say hi or hello.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Yeah.
after some time, people just get irritated and they won't reply you at all. Even if they are the most nicest people who are replying to
Exactly.
everyone, they won't reply you because the reason being it takes time. You will, right now, you have just written hello, and now they will reply to you with something and you will write some one other line of message.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. That is you doing the wrong thing. Even if you are just taking the very first step of even
Exactly.
approaching someone, please do it the right way.
Yeah.
And the right way is go ask them very politely, but provide them the information, right?
Yeah.
That why you are reaching out to them
Mm.
and what their help would actually end up being a help to you, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are seeking some help from them, how it is going to actually help you. Tell them your goals, and
Mm.
that will actually build help them build up a connection with you, right? They
Yeah.
will also feel like, okay, if we are going to invest some time in them,
Mm.
it is going to help them this way, and
Yeah.
they will feel motivated even about helping you. So always go with the it it's good always to write it precisely, but if you're very shy and you can't write everything down there, but
Mm.
still provide the required information, at least some bits, so that they feel uh, excited about talking to you, right?
Mm.
People
Yeah.
need some reasons to talk to you. Nobody wants to spend their time on everyone, so people
Yeah.
really need something to be excited about talking to you. So yeah, always go and, but yeah, the very first thing is always you take the first step, you go and
Mm.
ask. So do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's something really nice that you shared.
Yeah.
Anything that you read or listened to very recently that inspired you, like something that
Yeah.
comes.
Yeah, I read right now that thing that I'm trying to practice in
Mhm.
my daily life is to assume positive intent. I read it just now,
Yeah.
just 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. The thing is, I read a tweet of one of my mentors I was
Mhm.
contributing to during the outreach period. One he wrote a tweet, and it was about the practices that are really important in if you're contributing remotely or working remotely. He wrote 2 points. Out of one was to assume positive intent. It is something like when you're working remotely and you're countries away and miles away from a person you are actually working with, and you do not get to meet them every day on everyday basis, or even contact or talk randomly over video calls or phone calls, and you are just communicating, you are in touch with the work you do. It sometimes gets really hard to realize what intent they are working what intent they are working for you or working with you. So it's like always if somebody else or some random stranger is contributing to your project, and he contributed, or even if he messaged you regarding something that I found a bug or I would like to add this feature or something like that, you just assume first thing as a human that we are trained to is like, oh, he's being over smart here, or he's trying to sabotage something or jeopardize something. So that's, and we assume it without unconsciously, but it may not be the case. That person may have come with a positive intent or with a nice intent to help you, or he must be using your project that he found a little bug there or feature that he want to add for his purpose, and he took out his time or her time to come and help you out. So it's like always assuming positive intent help to you as well, and you see that person in a lighter way. You see that he's trying to help me. You assume it in a positive way, that his intentions are positive and he's just trying to help me. Though it will consume less energy and less
Yeah,
time, and you're
exactly.
more relaxed. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that. Even anybody who comes to me with an help, to ask a help for or anything, even to chit chat or anything, I just assume that, oh, maybe they are doing it, they are trying to do it with a positive intent. No
Yeah.
matter, even if they have a bad intent, you just assume that will take less of your time and energy.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going, it's going to help you in some or the other way. Otherwise
I,
you'll
I,
just keep
I,
overthinking and waste your energy and time.
I totally connect with you. I'll say
Yeah.
it's more of you are helping yourself by thinking that way
Yeah.
rather than maybe other people might have certain
Hmm.
intentions, but it's always assume you are just helping yourself,
Yeah.
and indeed you are helping yourself
Mhm.
thinking that way. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing it. I'll also now intentionally and consciously do this.
Yeah. It really helps. Yeah. Even I'm trying. I'm not. I cannot do it every time because I'm still practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do get irritated or something like that, but then immediately I remind myself that no, you have to assume
Yeah,
he or she is doing it with a positive intent, and you should not
exactly.
overthink about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's for your
it
own
is.
mental
It's true.
peace.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's really it's really a nice thing.
Mm.
Uh, coming back to where we are, right? So now that you are almost graduate and it's like 4 years of technical education over you,
Mm.
do you feel there is one thing or maybe more than one thing that you feel now like you should have known when you actually started your journey? You should have known back then that time, like something like, oh, over that this is one thing that you have learned over time, but it would have been even more helpful if you have known about it back then, 4 years back or something like
Yeah.
that. Do you feel there is something
Yeah.
that you feel?
There are a lot of things,
Or
but
I'll just put it like this way. It comes to you, oh, I wish I had known about it back then. Something when you see it and you feel like, oh, this is one thing that I should have known about it a
yeah.
long back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I feel that every time I hear about some opportunity or see something, it's always that feeling, oh, I should have, why don't I know it before this happened or something like that. Yeah, just like outreach and stuff, I got to know it in the last of my second, the fourth sem or fifth sem, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I always felt like, oh, why didn't I knew it before? But yeah, that they are just with, you cannot change that.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's
Like
just
like
arrived at, yeah.
my intent of asking this question was more like, it was more like, okay, uh, may, I mean, it's more of like to the viewers. Maybe somebody will watch it and somebody will be get motivated. Oh, okay, they didn't know about it
uh,
now, but this is something that understood it now. Okay,
hmm,
but okay, if somebody is just started, they can actually pick it up right from here. And so
hmm,
some learning that you feel, oh, I should have known it back then, but it's okay if I didn't know it. But but this is one thing that I feel, if I had known about this back
hmm,
then, would have make a better difference. But
yeah,
it's fine if I know I know about it even now.
yeah.
It's good even now as well.
Hmm.
So
There are two things that I would like to share. First, that your college and your degree doesn't matter. It's all about what you want to do. Even I've been on actively work, talking to people and seeing people around, and I've seen people from what we call at tier three college or tier
mhm,
below, if there is, I don't know, tier four, but yeah, people from tier three or tier two colleges doing it, making it large in their life and doing a great job and whatever they wanted to do. and and even if your degree, it doesn't matter if you're not from a CS background and you want to pursue, if you want to learn technical stuff, if you want to go come to the world of programming, and so yeah, you can easily do it. There are tons and tons of resources available. You just need you just need a little bit of guidance, not even the right guidance, just a kickstart in the starting, and you can do it. And there are a lot of people available to help you with that kickstart. And I'm
yeah,
really glad that I had that people in my life who could help me with that start.
yeah,
So one thing is that, and other thing is, there is nothing as trend. Never follow trends.
yeah,
It makes
yeah,
no sense. Trend is what trend is for one people can just be opposite for somebody else. And that if you want to learn, if you want to do Android development, just go with it. No matter what your seniors are telling you that Android has no future or something else has no future, do machine learning and AI and it's the new future. It's the future. It's very subjective for everyone. If you want to go for Android development, just go for it. If you want to do iOS development, though nobody might be doing it around you, just go for it. If you want to even do machine learning, just do it, but do it properly, not just because it's trendy.
Somebody is doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool and it will be you when you'll write it over your resume, it will find cool. No, there other things that I would say, if you're doing things for your resume, that's not going to help you in a longer run. Just do things that you like, and then figure out that how can you make it sound cool over your resume.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've seen people who were not very into technical stuff or were not very geeky in their college, for early days of college, and now they are working in the software field and in the field of IT industry and IT sector. But it doesn't, and people look at them like they were never in the field of tech, but now they are making it huge or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not always like that you were born geeky or you were born with a technical inclination. It says you build it. Programming is not a skill that you're born with.
Yeah.
It's not an form of art or something that you must be god gifted for it. It's just a skill that you learn. It's just like playing guitar. If you learn playing guitar, you will know how to play guitar. If you don't learn uh, how to play guitar, you'll never learn how to play guitar. So just like practice. And yeah, there is no such
Yeah.
thing as trend, that I have realized,
Yeah.
because I've fallen prey for that. I have seen myself stuck in that trendy thing. Yeah.
Even I will just back you here. Like,
Yeah.
uh, it's been almost more than a year now that I've been graduated, and
Mm,
oh, like throughout my 4 years of engineering, I
mm,
have been doing like lots of things. But now
mm,
that you are very nicely putting it down here, I can also see myself doing the same thing back then. Like,
mm,
oh, people are doing this, let's go and learn this. Or now
mm,
people are doing this, let's leave that thing behind. Now go and learn that. Which is
yeah.
not true. I eventually realized it. I can tell you that thing as well, because uh, after some time what I saw is, okay, I know so many things, but there is nothing that I can do about it.
Mm,
There is nothing that I'm really proud of, or even I myself feel very confident about it. It was
yeah.
just me doing something that everyone was trying to learn on. So
Yeah.
I did learn a little bit of it, and now there is no use of it.
Yeah.
So 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 yeah, thank you so much actually for actually putting it in right words. Like, yeah, there is no such thing as trend. And I also back you over the degree and the
Yeah.
thing. Like, there is nothing that, okay, it's good to have a degree, but
Yeah,
the
nowadays,
degree
no, most of the programs, open source programs especially, that Outreachy has no requirement. They even if you
even,
send your resume, they are not going to look at it.
yeah, yeah.
Programs like Google Summer of Code and RGSoc and something like that, they don't require any degree. Even if you are not a university graduate, or even if you do not have a MCS degree, they don't care. It's all about
I
your
mean,
skill.
GSOC have that thing, but
They
like they
change.
want,
Yeah.
they change it, but
Yeah.
that is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a very good thing actually,
Mm.
because I have seen companies now hiring people who doesn't have
Mm.
degrees,
Yeah.
and I have seen people in my own space as well who are working in at very nice positions,
Mm.
very responsible positions, and
Yeah.
they don't have any degree. So
Yeah.
you really don't require a degree.
Yeah.
Even in India, I can back you and I can bet you
They are changing. Yeah.
it's where actually it makes you learn something.
Yeah.
It's you mostly going there for some grades, and eventually for that paper that actually says
Yeah.
now you are you are some this
Yeah.
and thing. And I have been working for an year now. I still don't have the degree, the actual physical paper in my hand. So yeah, degree doesn't, it's good to have it. It's but always be intentional, right? The
Yeah.
degree is not going to teach you something. You have to, if you are putting 4 years of your life there, just be intentional about your time, right? You go and spend your time the right way. So thank you. Actually, those two things are very nice thing. I'll say, if everyone who is in their very early year of degree, engineering or any field of education, just be
Yeah.
intentional about it. That don't follow any trend and don't just follow. Just don't do something just for the sake of a degree.
Yeah.
Degree won't actually even land you a job. Eventually, your work and your hard work
It's
and your
just a
skills.
first requirement that they ask for, and other all other requirements are your skills.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah.
Truly. So even like, okay, we have been talking about this from along. First thing I would love you to mention here, what actually is your field of engineering? Because
Oh,
the next question, yeah,
yeah.
it is not IT, it is not CSE,
I'm
it's
from civil engineering
yeah,
background.
yeah, yeah.
I pursued my engineering in civil engineering.
Yeah. So this question is exactly about that because
Yeah.
I knew about it. I just wanted other people to know about this.
Yeah.
I know that your way into technical domain is
Hmm.
nowhere related to your degree, right?
Yeah.
Like for most of people, us, like even me, I am into this, or I'll say, like, I started because IT was my field of engineering, or
Hmm.
CSC was my field of engineering. So I was learning about it through my curriculum,
Hmm.
but you had to do the hard work. You had to work parallelly to
Yeah.
your curriculum, right?
Hmm.
So which makes you even better than most of us people because you work double.
Yeah.
uh, what advice you would like to give to someone who is in your path, who is in your situation, and who wants to pursue a similar career to you?
Yeah.
What compelled you to pick the technical domain over the actual degree you are in?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh, what I would say, just I was very clear with my path, but not very sure that I had. I've been programming since my school years. I had C++ and Java as my school curriculum, so I knew programming, how to program, how to write code and stuff. But I was not. I enjoyed it, but I was not very sure that if this is what I want to pursue. It's like then in 12th and 11th JE came, and it took us away from all these our hobby and skills.
Yeah.
So it was all about JE and getting into a good college. And my parents had great expectations from me. Even I had great expectations from me that I would eventually land up into a government college, a
Yeah.
top tier college. But that didn't happen, and now I don't regret it. I regretted it that time, but now I don't regret it. But yeah, so that and in my family, everybody around me, my father and everybody is from civil engineering background. So I that time I had a very basic knowledge of two streams, just about civil engineering, and one of my cousin is a computer science graduate. So I knew something about computer science from him and whatever I learned in school. So that time I just in India, I feel that's the biggest hurdle. We are asked to choose the streams that we don't even know about them, that even somebody who was great in the electricity section of physics that we learn in class 12. but
Yeah.
but you cannot judge it from that you want to be an electrical engineer, or
Yeah.
you like the mechanics part of the physics, and you just want to say that I want to be a mechanical engineer. It's very subjective, and really doesn't make sense, because that is just basics of what you see, and that much of physics you must know, and that is required in every branch of engineering and stuff. So yeah, that I didn't know a lot about other streams. So it was either if I wanted computer science, but I was not sure with if I don't get computer science, what else I'll have. But my father convinced me that if you're not getting computer science, then go for civil engineering and stuff. And I had a talk with few of my uncles and stuff who are in this field. Then they told that One of my uncles said that no, he told me that nobody care actually now in nowadays nobody actually care what stream you belong from,
Yeah.
because he's a mechanical engineer and his job is related to electrical and stuff. So he told me that. So I followed my instincts and whatever my father told me, and I just took civil engineering. And maybe like then at that point of time I was convinced that maybe this is maybe software computer engineering is not that something that I strongly feel about. And so I just took civil engineering. And in first year of a college, it was a common curriculum for all the students. So I got time to learn C++ and C with whatever the college taught us and more. Even if I could learn a lot of data structures and algorithm, I was learning it over YouTube and some other course book and stuff. But as soon as I came to my third semester, second year of my college, then I realized that when I started studying the core subjects of the civil engineering, then I realized that maybe I don't like this. That time I gave myself some break, and I asked myself to figure out if you want to, because that was, if I do not figure out at this moment, it will be very late for me to either continue with civil engineering if I want to, or even if I want to switch to computer science, so I could. So that moment of time, I gave myself a semester time to figure out if I really want to pursue computer science, or it's just in my brain that I like it and I like actually don't like it. So I gave myself time and I figured out, and then I eventually realized no, that computer science is something that I really enjoy doing, and I love being around people who are into this field. So then I started doing it. I I did started learning more things about technical stuff and started doing it. Yeah, so basically I learned through that. And advice that I would be giving to somebody who's in my shoes will be just to take out time and figure out if you really want to do, because at some points I was not very sure if uh, that how I will be able to juggle between these two things. I was not very sure if I could do it, because I haven't seen anybody making a switch this steep from civil to computer science, because these paths are not really related. And I've seen people from electronics and some electrical making switch to computer science, but because those are circuital branches, civil engineering is not a circuital branch. So I did haven't seen people doing it, but I was confident enough that if I dedicate my time and energy towards learning computer science, I will eventually do it. So yeah, that time that it's one semester time that I gave myself is what I'll ask everybody who is on my in my shoes to do, is to take that one month or 2 month or 3 month of a time to figure out if you really want to make us that switch, or you are happy in whatever make you're doing. So yeah, it's all about what you really want to do.
Exactly, exactly. Like that's a good piece of advice, right?
Yeah.
Even sharing your journey and someone actually like going through your journey, they can pick up things from you as well, because some things that you have done are require really brave heart, right? Not everyone can it civil engineering, I know, has a very huge curriculum, right? You don't just have to do the like there is a you it requires time, it
Yeah.
requires you to invest lots of your time and lots of some practical work as well. So taking time out of that and being really intentional about the move, not
Mm,
even just move but putting time in both the spaces, and then to figure out if you really want to make
yeah.
the move, it's a hard work.
Mm,
I'm really proud that I'm proud that I'm actually getting this chance to talk to you. It's a good thing. It makes you it makes me respect you even more. Saying so far, like what's the most important thing you have learned in your life? Oh, and I'll add to it. Uh, what was your life before learning it, and what is and what like what was and what is your life after learning that? Like, do you feel there is something that have changed your life?
think harder. I guess
Ah, we
uh,
can.
uh, I started reading some. I got into these things called as self care or self help books. I started reading some of those, and it really helped me because it changed my perspective. Because in when we are in school or in starting days of a college, we are children, and we are
Yeah.
very young too. And we haven't. I have in my school. I haven't been away from my home, or college was the first time I was away from home, living on my own. Still had a financial dependence on my parents, but yeah, I had to choose things for my own. I had to do things for my own. So it was a major shift in my life. So that helped me understand the requirement of being independent. And with reading all those books and reading articles related to self help, and I got to realize the importance of two things: importance of time and importance of money, and how time is equal to money, and you should not weigh time is what is you what
Yeah.
the biggest wealth or the most you should spend time as money. And we as a student don't realize it. We spend time as it's infinite, but
Yeah. Which is not the case. Yeah.
it's actually not. And I realized it just few months before. I read an article and I saw that time equals to money, and I started reading, and then that changed my perspective about time. But that is a major shift that I still procrastinate. I procrastinate a lot, but yeah, the moment I realized it, that no, I have to do it, and when I force myself to just come to my chair and just do my work, I really do it because I have that thing in my back going that time is not infinite,
Yeah.
and if it's
Yeah.
finite and it's going to get over. So yeah. And other thing is being financially independent. I've been aiming a lot for that because I'm still very dependent on my parents because I don't have a job right now and I'm not earning.
You
So
are.
now I will. So I'm happy for that. But there was no the
But
foundations
it's
of.
a process. You are
Yeah,
you are into the process, right? Yeah.
yeah.
That's why you are here.
So I'm feeling a little that's the major thing that I am proud of. That I'll start becoming independent, and I'll do things on my own. And there was no foundation or pressure from my parents or my family. They
It's
were
okay.
never like that. Yeah, we could not spend money on you, but yeah, it was like something that I wanted to be, so I could buy things on my own and
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
things to my parents or my
Yeah.
family. Yeah,
I can totally relate to it.
yeah,
I'll say I'll so now like I'll pick up three things from what you described. So
yeah,
I'll say yeah, number one is always self care.
yeah.
It's not healthcare, but it's more about self care. You should be considerate about
Mhm.
yourself, right? Treat yourself well, so that you will be able to treat other people well. So I'll totally say do it. If you can procrastinate over other things for now, but don't procrastinate over self-care.
Yeah.
You require it, you should do it.
Mm,
And that's the best thing you have learned. And other thing that you mentioned is time and money. Yeah. Yeah, like spend money where you have less time,
yeah,
but save when you have time to do
yeah,
it. So
mm,
it goes hand in hand. You should be aware of your time as well as of your money because
yeah,
both things are important.
mm,
And that's really something good that you learn. And I feel and I can, like, coming from you and the way you described it, I can see there is change there. It must have brought change into
yeah.
it. uh, okay, this question is I'm really excited about. So, what profession other than the all things programming, all things technical that you feel you would love to try or attempt? Anything other than programming and the techie thing?
I would really like doing two things that come to my mind is one is into cooking or baking. I
Yeah.
really love doing it, and it has been it jumped 2x during this time of lockdown
Ah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody was cooking and baking, so even I learned a lot of things, and I really enjoy that point of. I enjoy that time when I'm doing that stuff. So another thing would be working or learning more about. human pollution or history of time and stuff. That really fascinates me. I can be on an endless spree, and I can just keep watching YouTube videos and videos about things like that, and just reading articles about that. So yeah, that really
Both
amazes
of
me.
them are exciting stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
like cooking is what everyone wants
There
now.
was a time when I was in this phase of selecting
Yeah.
colleges or just
Huh.
figuring out which college I want to do, and that admission phase. I really I started cooking that at that point of time, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, if I cannot make if can't make it to engineering, I'll just switch it to cooking. I
Huh.
learn cooking. I'll just learn management
That
certificate.
made me recall one part of my time when I was looking for the engineering colleges again.
Yeah,
I had an option to choose food technology over CSE, but
yeah,
again, because of the trend, I like pick the trend again. Okay, I was also a prey, but because of the trend, uh,
yeah,
I am here a CSE BTech graduate, not a food technology. But I feel it's good. Go
yeah.
and do that someday. If you want to change from this to, I'll back you.
Yeah.
Cooking is
I'll
cooking
also really like
is
to.
like self care. Sorry, now you go ahead. Sorry to
Yeah, no.
cut you.
Yeah, I'll also like to learn music if I get a chance, because that's been very integrated part of me. I love music. I've been listening. I really love music. I don't just like listening to music. I also like to read about it and read about the instruments they play and how they try to compose and stuff. So yeah, I also like to, if I in future, maybe when I have enough money or I could afford it, I'll start doing it as my
Yeah,
part-time
you'll
gig.
surely be able to afford it in the very sooner time only. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Now we are almost in the end quarter. This is, this is my first time recording and interviewing someone,
Uh,
and so again, this is the very first podcast. If there is a fair chance, I know there is a fair chance I might have missed something important that I should have asked you. So now, if I say, if you could step into my position right now, be the interviewer, what would you like to ask yourself? Like, there's something that you would definitely love to share with everyone, and I've missed asking you only. So, is there anything that you feel is you would like to ask yourself?
I have I have actually covered everything that I have learned or I wanted to share. I wanted to share these two concepts that I recently learned, that was positive intent and
Yeah.
time is money thing, that I shared, and I don't actually forget.
Then I did my
Yeah,
homework
you did
well.
a fabulous job
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
being very,
So,
yeah.
sorry. Uh, okay, last thing. Where can everyone connect with
They can follow me. They can drop, my inbox is open, or Twitter, so you can even just leave me a message or drop me a message over inbox. Or I'm very active over my emails as well. So you can just drop me an email. I'll reply within a day or two. I'll
you? Yeah.
definitely get back to you. Or Twitter will be fine. I'll get back easily there.
So I take Twitter as the
Yeah.
first place to find you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll just scroll through my pages and like really if I miss something, I don't think. Uh, thank you for being a really nice guest to me. You are more than a guest to me. You are really a good friend,
Mm,
and I am happy that I know you, and I'm
mm,
happy that it happened with you as like this first episode. I don't know if it's an episode or, but I hope I get to talk to you more, and
mm.
I get to
I'll,
learn from everyone.
yeah.
It's a good way to
Mm,
share things. It's a
yeah.
good way for me to start speaking. Again, I'll say I'm also more into the introvert side,
Yeah.
but it's good to talk. It's
Yeah.
not to everyone, but still it's good to talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Always great to share and learn new things. Always open for that. Yeah.
Anything, any parting notes, anything that you want to say? Anything you want to say to someone who is just about to apply to Outreachy and And I'll add to it, I'm adding, and I know, when we are looking from outside into this outreachy box
Yeah.
thing, it looks very intimidating. It looks like there is something big going on, and no,
Mhm.
at least we can't do it. So, but you have done it, I have done it, and
Mm.
we can say there is nothing specific, special we knew, some magic power or some people who helped us. There was nothing like that. Okay, yes, people helped us, but you can always find that help everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
So, what would you want to say in a very short means to anyone who is feeling that way right now and who really wants to get into
Yeah.
teaching?
Just one thing that I felt very strongly about is, no matter how, do not underestimate your struggles, or do not underestimate whatever you have gone through,
Mm-hmm.
or do not think that it's not good enough to write over an application. It's always worth it. Just try explaining it in a better way, so that, imagine if you're telling your struggles and your biases that you faced, and differentiation, the discrimination you faced, to somebody who is not very aware of your culture, that
Yeah,
in India it's very less female representation in the field of tech.
yeah,
So you'll
yeah,
have to be more specific, that in what context you are talking about, and what you want to tell somebody. Just be very, do never underestimate your struggles,
yeah,
be it be it gender basis or financially based or anything, any discrimination that you face in the field of tech. Just write it down, enhance it in a bit, so that the other person who is not aware of your culture and your background can understand it in an easily and in a layman language. uh, and other thing is, just write it down, express your feelings and whatever you feel strongly about. Other thing, once you get through this, it was for the initial application. Other thing was, never, just be consistent. No, it doesn't matter, even if you just know an HTML or just know CSS. You're, you doesn't even know that there are many
mhm,
projects which just requires English vocabulary skills and communication, some other requirements that's not very technical. Because this time
mhm.
I remember there was one project which also had requirements of, if you know how, DJing.
Ah,
So yeah,
okay.
that was really cool. I find it
Yeah.
really cool. If I would have really contributed it to that project if I had some idea of it,
Mm-hmm.
but sadly I don't have any idea of
Yeah.
it. But there are projects. So yeah, there are graphic. There was one project which required content writing and graphic designing and stuff. So it's not just about programming, it's about anything technical, or even just vocabulary. If you're good, if you had great experience with technical writing or documentation, you can even apply it to that. So
Yeah.
just be consistent. It doesn't matter. That was the mistake, that is the thing that I learned from my mistake. I wasn't consistent the first time I was trying, but I was consistent the second time I was trying. Even if you feel like that other people who are also contributing to the project are more actively contributing and are getting the 2 or 3 PRs before you merged, or they are completing their pull request before you could even start doing it, or you're just figuring out and they already made a pull request. Never get disheartened because of that. Just keep trying. Eventually your hard work and your consistent work will be noticed. And be this is the one advice that I got from you, is show your mentor that you are making efforts. Just
Yeah.
don't do it in a closed room, and just tell it to your mentor that you are
Yeah.
trying. Show him or her that you are working on it. So yeah, that's
Yeah. And I'll add, like, yeah, be vocal about your work.
yeah,
What you're doing, you have to show it. And the
yeah,
people who are meant to see that, they should see that, right?
yeah. Because
So,
that's what they'll evaluate.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
about
you might be working hard in your own space, in your own corner, but if that is not going to the right people,
hmm, that's not
unfortunately, even if you're working hard, it won't make any good to you.
difference. Yeah.
So do that. Talk to
Hmm.
people. Yeah, yeah, the mentors need to know that you're working hard, and they are the only people who need to know, right? You
Yeah.
don't have to go and tell anyone, and nobody, if they are saying you are not doing it right,
Hmm.
just ask them, please,
Yeah.
we are doing
Yeah.
our work. And if your mentor is saying something, go,
Mm.
have a talk with them, understand why they are saying it, look for solutions,
Yeah.
but do what your mentor wants you to do.
Yeah.
Because and other people, I know there are so many people who will help you to get out of that
Yeah.
process in thousand different ways. Just ask them to say
If,
goodbye
if
to them.
yeah.
They are not
If
worth your time.
Yeah.
So
If you feel strongly about that project or that mentor or some that organization, just stick there and be very practical. And
yeah.
even if you feel like you are not able to make any progress there, and there could be any other project that you could really work on that will give you more benefits, just switch.
Yeah,
Do
be
not.
okay to let go things.
Yeah.
It takes time. You
Yeah.
it's not a magic that, like, it might be a magic that will happen to some people, that they go into one project and eventually that become the project that they always
Hmm.
wanted. But it's not the case with everyone. So you have to go, you have to try, and you have to see, okay, this is the place where I feel happy being in the community. Even these are the mentors that I feel really comfortable talking to. All these things count, and you have to be considerate about them.
Yeah.
Learning will come. The technical things, even though they might take time, like for someone A it might take some time,
Yeah.
and for some person B it might take even more or less time,
Hmm.
but they both will learn. The thing is how they are feeling in their
Yeah.
spaces, that matters a lot. If somebody A who is taking a lot of time but they are very happy in their space, I think they are gaining more from them.
Yeah.
So yeah, be considerate about everything. The
Hmm.
initial application, I don't know if people really pay attention to it, but I really feel, I have read your application and I know how important it is to put your honest things there, right?
Yeah.
At least with Outreachy, I know the organizer are putting in their time to
Yeah.
actually go through
Yeah.
each line of them. So it's not like it's a formal thing that you just have to write something and it will go through a screening process and done. No, people are actually putting in their
Mhm.
month long time reading that, and and the reason for Outreachy, and the major motive behind Outreachy is this only: they
Yeah.
want to provide opportunity to people who really need them.
Yes.
So yeah, please write if you feel like writing something, and
Mm.
be honest with them. You just don't have to write something. It should be you really want to share
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And one thing that you mentioned, right, like the culture. I, being from India, talking specifically about India, yes, the culture is very different from other people you will see around the world.
Mm.
So be okay with sharing it. It's okay if you don't want to share it, but if you are sharing it, be okay with sharing it, because yes, it is different. Yes, there are I we don't know about other culture, but we can talk about our culture, and we know there are hardships for a women, for the non-male community, or non-male section of the community.
Mm.
There are hardships, and
Mm.
we have to go through certain
Yeah.
things which is not usual for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's okay. And in the technical domain, it is a thing, it is a major thing that is there. So it's okay. Go
Mm.
and share. If you really have faced it, please talk about it.
Yeah.
uh, they will help you.
Yeah.
Eventually it will become a help to you only if you will be vocal about it. And
Mm.
everyone have a different situation, right?
Yeah.
So don't even compare yourself with everyone. Somebody might be, you both might be in the same position right now, but your journeys are different.
Yeah.
And so be proud of your journey, because that the journey is the only thing that have actually made you be
Mm.
here. So
Exactly.
thank you. Like, I really learned a lot from you, and trust me, very honestly, I'll say, like, there are so many things that I learned today. uh, it's been it's been like an year now that I don't have much memories from my college time, but
Mm.
some things that you talked about are really important, I feel.
Mm.
And people should be aware of them. And because there is so much going on in the technical world, everybody wants to learn everything. That is not true,
Not at
that
all.
they can't do. So whatever you are doing, be intentional about it. It's
Yeah,
okay, you might fail at it. There might be some switches that, not some, there might be lots of switches that you will have to make to reach at the at that one thing that you really are passionate, not passionate, there is nothing like passionate about something.
yeah.
You really feel fine doing it or really feel
You
good
enjoy
doing it.
working.
Yeah, enjoy. Passion is different, right? The
Yeah,
one thing that you are doing is, there could be certain reasons for doing it, not just the passion is the only thing.
yeah,
So it's more like, okay, you feel like, okay, this is something that I want to do.
yeah.
So yeah, it takes tries, it takes lots of tries, lots of,
Lots and trial and error, and then
yeah.
eventually you learn.
And eventually,
It,
this is the truth.
yeah,
Like like failures, the moment of failures, the moment of hardship is the biggest moment of learning for you.
mm,
So you should fail more often. That is what I am repeating from somewhere I've read. I
yeah,
don't remember, but yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah,
Thank you. I took a lot of your time, but
yeah.
it was really
I
nice talking
enjoyed
to
it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoyed it
Uh,
thoroughly.
yeah. We should do more of them.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, a huge congratulations to you. Do you want to share a bit about your Fedora? Is specifically about you getting into Fedora, your experience, how you feel finally being an outreach intern. Not even the process, we have talked about it a lot.
Yeah,
But now, when you are finally an outreach intern, how it feels? Because I think you are yet to start, right? It's
yeah.
from December first week, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
how
so
are you feeling right
it
now?
feels really surreal. The moment I still remember that I got the email and I couldn't believe it. I like, no, it's temporary or maybe they sent it by mistake or something. Because I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I was like, no, it's just a wrong mail or to a wrong person, something like that. But I couldn't. To. I had taken a day off to just to get through this feeling that I
Yeah.
finally got selected and my hard work really paid off. Yeah, so because even that I didn't tell anybody that I got selected because even I was not in the state to acknowledge that I finally got selected. But the third day or the second day, I finally called everyone and told that yeah, I finally got selected. Yeah, so everybody around me, they helped me make me realize that yeah, you finally made it and it's your hard work that paid off. So yeah.
It's indeed your hard work that paid off, because I have been talking to you about
Mm.
how the process was for you, like
Mm.
how you eventually, you have worked hard this time and you had worked hard
Yes.
the last time as well. There was lots of hard work involved, and
Mhm.
when it finally pays off, it feels good. So
Yeah.
and it feels good in every way. You
Mm.
have achieved it. You should believe it now. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's all about today's session. That's all
Yeah.
about it. I am happy. Thank you so much.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
it's good. I wish you all the best for your coming internship, 3 months period of internship. I
Thank
hope it will be at the best time that you always wanted to be
you
in, and I wish you even more success after that. There is a lot to
so
come
much.
now. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you so
just the
much.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having me. And
Thank you.